Hello, it is Thursday. Welcome to Heading Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. I am Scott Steehn, lead handicapper over at winnersandwhiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over at winnersandwhiners.com.
And together, we hope to help you head back to the window, cash those winning tickets like we did yesterday, buddy. And shout out here to Nathan Cerna in the house, JC Stone, R. Rivera 911. What's up to all of you guys? Good to have you here with us on a delightful Thursday afternoon. Scott, how's the weather up there in Long Island?
I wouldn't know. I've been indoors. It's been fine. Can't complain. It's not snowing or anything. So that's a step in the right direction.
All right. Very good. Very, very good indeed. So, of course, we want to remind you to, do all the regular stuff, to smash that like button, hit the subscribe, rate, review, all that other good stuff. Because if you don't, that's right, Rachel's going to come to your house and give you a full description of all 8 Hanukkah presents he received from Santa. So,
yes, there's a lot of layers to that joke, so just bear with us for that one.
All right. How'd you do yesterday, bud? How'd your day go?
It was okay. I ended up losing my play that I unfortunately had the Warriors minus 13.5. They won by 10, despite shooting less than 40% from the floor. So if they even made anywhere near where they're normally shooting in terms of percentages, they win that game by 20. But they didn't shoot the ball well enough. They only won by 10.
Hey, Lawrence Anthony in the house. Good afternoon. Ian Toomey's here. What's up, buddy? It's the Toom Dog. Nice. Don't tell my buddy, but you're my favorite Scots. I'm guessing your buddy's name is Scott Sodwick. So, yeah, mum is the word. Rolling with Monmouth today. Scott, we talked about Monmouth, right?
I think they're alive to win the game. Just because of the fact that St. John's has been struggling against inferior competition. Monmouth, pretty good team. I think you'll see a close game throughout. I don't mind that play, Nathan.
Playing with their food, man, is what they were doing. We had a decent night last night. We hit our 2 premium plays as we had Cleveland Cavs to take care of business against shorthanded Bulls. They did just that, and we also had
That's a good team. Cleveland, good team.
Xavier to cover 19 against Ball State. They did that in the first half, and then stretching out there in the second half. So we might even see that one on the show here a little bit later. We did lose on my play of the day as we had the under in the San Francisco Fresno State game. Looked great at halftime. We had 127, I think. 55 at halftime, Scott. You had to feel good about that, right?
You did until the second half started.
Yep. And San Francisco, the Dons forgot how to play defense. So very nice. Yeah, Nathan Stern, 8-0 ATS is pretty impressive. I know it is. And I'll tell you, don't look now. Another team that we despise that's been really good at covering the numbers has been the Denver Pioneers. And they square off tonight. Who are they going against tonight? I can't remember.
I don't even recall. I'll look that up now.
They're surprised they're a big dog, but yeah.
All I know is the college leans that we had ended up going well. I know both of us liked West Virginia. They barely got there, but they got there, so that matters. Besides that, yeah, we had a pretty good day in college basketball. Just unfortunately for me personally, and for you personally, the free plays we gave out, we were on the wrong side of.
Yep. But we, if you put all your chips in the middle on the Bet the Farm, came out okay for you.
Yep, so, that is true.
Of course, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about our 5-game winning streak here in just a minute. But for now, let's find out the other side of the coin, Scott. There was winners last night, but for every winner, there has to be a whiner. And let's find out who it was on the Thursday version of Call the Cops. All right, buddy. We'll get it off and rolling here. If you were in the NBA playing the Nuggets Pelicans under 213, you're in good shape. 105-103 with 6 seconds left. What could possibly go wrong? How about a long 3-pointer to win it and send us all home winners? No, not so much, Scott. Pelicans hit a tip in to tie the game at 105. And you have no shot at winning, and you didn't, as they ended up landing 234 after overtime. So not only did you lose, you lost with style as they put up 24 points in the extra frame. That 213 was just a distant memory. All you can do, call the cops.
By the way, Denver plays New Mexico.
That's right. That's right, in the pit.
Looking at the worst beat of the entire night, if you had Indiana plus 4.5 against my school, Wisconsin, You led by 17 points at halftime. You led by 6 points with 3 minutes to go. So you let 11 points get away, but you're still winning. And you have about 10 points to play with 3 minutes to go. Wisconsin closed the game on an 11-0 run. Indiana did not score for about the last 3 minutes of the game, and Indiana went from up 17 at the half to losing by 5.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be 11 points. That's more than Wisconsin usually puts up in a half. That's nicely done there by the Badgers. And if you're a fan of this show, you had UMass Lowell, Boston U. You're one of those people, you like to find value wherever you can. You're not necessarily playing the marquee games. You're looking under the radar. You're looking for those nice opportunities that others may have missed, and that was the case here. You had UMass Lowell and Boston U over 134.5. You're a fucking genius for 38 minutes. They had 131 with 2:13 left. All you got to do is just finish it out, make some free throws, hit a layup or two, and Bob's your uncle. You're going home a winner. Nope. No layups, nothing. They
made a 3-pointer.
They had made a 3-pointer. Congratulations. Missed everything else, including 4 free throws. That game lands 134. Yikes. 3 points, last 2:13. You, my friends, go home a whiner. It is time to call the cops.
The 4 free throws missed, of course, are brutal, but it wasn't even a blowout game where it was garbage time. The game was decided by 10 points. So you can make an argument that team would have been potentially fouling down the stretch for no reason. We've seen teams foul down double digits with even 10 seconds left in college basketball. You had some shots there, just didn't get it.
Absolutely. Well, the opposite of that, these are the people that were right where you want to be. These are the games that were never in doubt. If you had one of these tickets, you cashed it early and often because you were sitting in the rocking chair.
So the first one was in the NBA. If you had the Mavericks and the Grizzlies under 219.5, each quarter had less than 52 points, and the game landed 200.
Yikes. Ugly game, but I should be on the right side of it. And of course, if you had the, where am I at here? If you had the Avalanche and the Rangers over 6.5, 3 goals in the first period, you're off to a nice start. Hey, can I interest you in 5 goals in the second period? You can cash that ticket. It's time to go home. Don't even have to watch the third period. That game ended up 7-3. If you had over 6.5, yes, sir, it ends up at 10. Congratulations, Avalanche Rangers backers. You were sitting in the rocking chair.
And going to college basketball, one of our favorite teams actually covered a point spread for once.
Favorite fades.
Can I interest you in Nebraska, Omaha? Plus 19.5 against Drake. They led outright by 10 at the half, and Drake did not want to end up on the mad and disappointed segment, so they came back and won the game. But Nebraska, Omaha only lost by 8.
You know, this has been a world gone mad, Scott, because you went with Drake, who started the last season 12-0, including 10-0 against the spread. Nebraska, Omaha, who hadn't covered a number since I think 1977. And they've actually been good against the spread this year. They're not a good team, but they've been decent against the spread, right up there with Denver. And Drake has been atrocious against the number. They have been overvalued in almost every game. So keep an eye on that.
They should be.
Last year's back is this year's fade, my brother. So
I mean, when you go on that just solid of a streak and you become that well known in the gambling markets for an entire season, we all know that eventually the Oddsmakers are going to catch up and people are still going to chase, hoping that last year's success would carry over. So am I surprised that Drake's been overvalued this season? No, because a lot of people are trying to rekindle what they had last year.
Yep, trying to recapture that magic. I got sucked in one time, and then that was it, and no more. Got some new folks joining us here. Not new folks, but I mean new today. Brad Crawford in the house. I was so pissed at the Warriors for not covering last night versus the pathetic Blazers. What a joke. They played half-ass, just good enough to win, didn't care about covering.
They did. They tried for basically a quarter and a half, and they killed Portland in the third quarter in the beginning of the fourth. And then the first half, though, they were up 2. It was just a complete no-show offensively from Golden State. When you shoot 39% and you still win by 10, that tells you all I need to know. They should have won that game by 25.
Absolutely true. Browns backers in the house. D Underman is here, of course. Der Underman, Jim Johnson. Central Michigan covered. Yeah, how about those Chippewas, buddy? Mountaineers took care of business. Yeah, wasn't a fight. Eula Foster 14.5 hasn't covered for the last 2 months. Who is that?
I don't know if that's true. The Warriors just covered 16 against the Magic like 3 days ago. So the Warriors just covered a number this big.
You were right about You were about Houston, Rachel.
Thank you. As a Nets fan with Durant out, say less. I'll take Houston.
Yep, that's good. Ulysses, no team has covered 14.5 in 2 months.
Just saying, the Warriors just covered 16 against Orlando, but besides that, I can't think of another example. Exactly 14.5?
Zach Vaughn.
I can't think of the last time I've seen exactly 14.5. If it makes you feel any better, I got 13.5, so they didn't cover that either.
Zach Vaughn was looking for a team to fill out his 4-team parlay. He says, you know what? I'm going to fade the big guy. And he did. You thought you were fucked at halftime, didn't you, Zach? They put up 55. You're like, oh my God, what have I done? Steehn, he's always right. No, he's not. I give, just like I say, I give winners every day. Just got to know which side to be on.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations, Zach. Hitting the 4-teamer. I'd rather you backed me and hit it, but you know what? You do what you got to do. Well done indeed. All right. So Scott, there was a lot of action yesterday, and a lot of teams could have qualified for this. But let's check it out, shall we? As we unveil who's wearing the golden feed bag today in the donkey of the day. All right, buddy. This is big news for us in Kansas City because we built an arena about 15 years ago under the promise that if you build it, they will come. Well, that works great for Field of Dreams. It doesn't work great for building an arena because we build an arena downtown, the beautiful T-Mobile, formerly the Sprint Center, and we've probably seen a total of one hockey game preseason every year and one basketball game preseason, and that's it. No teams. So the Arizona Coyotes, could it be the Kansas City Coyotes? Because they owe $1.3 million in taxes. They're now in danger of being evicted from their home arena. The team representatives, Scott, they don't have enough money to pay good accountants, apparently, because they claim it was human error. And apparently the check's in the mail. They're going to run it. They're going to drop it off here to close the business. I don't know, whatever excuse they're given. Is this a real problem for the Coyotes?
Can't you pay digitally nowadays? Isn't there like a portal you could use to pay your taxes?
You think the Coyotes have an intern that they send with a check like once every quarter to pay their taxes? I don't know.
I get it if you're off by a couple thousand. If you're off by $1.3 million, I don't even know how you managed to mess up taxes that badly if it was human error. It might just be because nobody goes to their games because they're terrible. So that could be a reason why ticket sales have been a bit underwhelming. But a professional team being potentially evicted from its home arena definitely deserves donkey of the day. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
No. You think you're going to drive by there and you're going to see like all the shit on the curb, like all the the nets and all the pads and sticks? They're going
to see the hammered like piece of like wood to the front door, like do not enter.
Yeah, they'll have signs up. This is under eviction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
It's really easy to pay off the taxes. Just bet against the Coyotes in every game. You've probably made a fortune.
Hey, if we weren't disappointed enough in that, there was an even better one. I thought about this play, and glad I got rid of it. It's I'm not mad. I'm definitely not mad, but this team, I am disappointed. All right, go ahead.
So for this one, we're going to be looking at college basketball, and you have the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State taking on the Vandals of
Love
Idaho.
The Jack.
And of course, with South Dakota State, the over is usually a safe bet, and the game did go over. However, Idaho, we know, is a terrible basketball team, usually. South Dakota State, pretty good. And they were laying 22 points yesterday at Idaho. No. They lost outright by 14.
Jesus.
So a 36-point incorrect line there by the odds makers. But losing outright to Idaho as 22-point favorites, not exactly an ideal situation.
No, and I backed the Jacks earlier in the season. I hit them once and backed them again, and they turned up, and yeah, they did not. They're almost dead to me now after yesterday's performance, especially. So if that wasn't bad enough, if you didn't think the odds makers were drunk there by missing it by 36, I've got another one that can interest you in. Let's find out why those guys were hammering the bottle yesterday. So again, this has to be a pretty high bar because if it wasn't the South Dakota State game, and I interest you in the total in the Magic's King games set at 222.5. Each quarter had at least 59 points. If you do the math real fast, you find out that comes out to 236. Well, that's a lot higher than 222.
2 quarters at 70 plus points, by the way.
That was the minimum they put up because this game ended up landing 272. Congratulations, you done missed the total by 50 fucking points. Way to go, odds makers. You had the Magic Kings over there. Congratulations. You didn't have to do were you sitting in the rocking chair from about the first 2 minutes?
Give or take. I think the first half had 120, 130 something points. Didn't really matter. But Brownsbacker, yes, Florida did cover barely. They won by 30.
Yeah, very good. Hey, don't forget to listen to the King, the Chris King doing just parlays every day, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the Winners and Whiners Sports Betting Network, WWBSN. To you and me, Scott, he's good. He's good. The kid puts some parlays together, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I don't know if I can call him a kid because he's older than me. But
that's
sure.
right. That's right. Anybody younger than me is a kid. So yeah, very good. And a good dude. Very, very sincere, very good dude. Not a smart ass full of smart assery like us.
That's our job.
It's a much more straightforward show. So and he puts out good information. So definitely check him out as well. STM Network loves him some parlays. That's right. He's back on the horse again tonight.
A parlay? I thought you were retired. Come on.
He's got some. No. He's just
tired for one day. Come on.
He didn't have any plays. By the way, this is.
I'm just saying. He said he retired.
This is a kid that shoots 230, 240 last night. Has a shot at 700. Shoots $140 his last game. So
okay.
Just saying. Not ideal.
I forgot that. Does he have a 300 yet, or he's still on the cusp?
He's not. No, he had 290. He started with his parents
290
for 11 in a row. Isn't Chris King older than the other Scott? Oh yeah, by a lot. I think he's probably in his 40s. No gamblers.
I'm 24, so the odds of anybody being older than me probably in this industry probably close to minus 350.
Yeah, pretty much. Ian Toomey says UFC 269 absolutely fucking stacked, Scott. How stoked are we?
It's a hell of a card. Looking forward to it. Of course, you got title fight with Poirier. You got Nunes coming back to fight against Pena. She's favored by about 9 million, as she should be, because she's the best female fighter of all time. A lot of good fights. I'll make a video on it.
JR Black backs me up. He says they do give out good parlays. Absolutely, man. It's there's no question about it. Scott S is aging like fine wine. The curse of the Steehn genes. Very good. Took first half Purdue Boilermakers minus 7.5 tonight. You like that?
Rutgers team is not very good.
No, they are not. Nathan's 34. Congratulations. You may not want to hear it, but Reichel, curious about update on your fantasy team.
Oh boy. All right. Brandon, glad you brought it up. So
I'm laying in it.
I am in a situation where I am in a win or go home week 14, which is the worst place you want to be for fantasy football. But I had a guy in my division who's projected to lose by like 15 last week. He won. So now I only have one shot to make the playoff. It's me versus the other guy for the final playoff spot. So we'll see what happens.
Fucking Brandon Tracy is dead to me. Mm-hmm. Dead to me, Brendan. God, any chance to let Reichel talk? So worst case scenario, we're going to have to hear this for 2 more weeks?
No, it's just the last week. Either I win and I'm in the playoffs, and then you have it until I get eliminated, or I lose immediately and my.
Oh, this isn't the playoffs. This is just do or die.
No, this is to get in.
Oh, Jesus.
In true, Cowboys fan fashion, of course, I have a win or go home game, so I'm probably going to lose by 50. Isn't that usually par for the course?
Yeah, that's about right. Big Ben, Kirk Cousins over 250 passing yards boosted to plus 200 on my bookie. Couldn't even imagine a worse boost for worse value. God.
I mean, that's just a painful experience. Win or lose, you got to watch Big Ben throw the ball.
How many games does he have that could do that?
I was going to say 250. All right, so you're looking at about 50 completed passes of 5 yards for Big
And I know
Ben.
you may have already done the research on this. How many passes do you think Big Ben is averaging per game this season?
It's a lot. It's a lot more than it should be. I got to assume he's in the, I'd say, 33 range. Maybe?
It's higher. It's upper 30s. It's like 38 and a half. He averaged really? 42 and a half in the first 4 weeks.
That's why they were losing.
Through 170 passes in the first 4 weeks, they went 1-3. So if you want to look at the biggest indicator of whether the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win or lose, look at the number of passes Big Ben has. That's all I'm saying. Maybe that's combined passing yards.
that still might take you about a half and change.
That's very funny. How about that? How about my abs, calves, mavs parlay?
Yeah.
You're silky, man. We made fun of it because they all rhyme, but you know what? They all cashed.
I said you can't fade the Seuss parlay. I'm calling that the Seuss parlay from now on. If it rhymes, it's Dr. Seuss parlay.
It's like the old bumper sticker on the car: abs, calves, or mavs. Nobody rides for free.
Yeah.
Do you know I have somebody? Do you know what bumper sticker I'm talking about, Scott? It says ass, gas, or grass. Nobody rides for free.
I mean, I'm just imagining the Seinfeld ass man like bumper, whatever.
No, there used to be a bumper sticker when I was a teenager, early 20s. It said ass, gas, or grass. Nobody rides for free. Okay. There's somebody in my there's somebody in my apartment complex that has one of those on their car right now. It's the first one I've seen in like 20 years. That's
the kind of person you want to party with.
Well, as long as I've got cash or grass, I'm not giving up the booty. I'm just saying that. I'm walking, buddy. Vikings' pathetic defense will make Big Ben look like Joe Montana tonight. Bet the over 42.5. I bought the 1.5 points down.
The truth is, for Thursday Night Football, I blindly lean under, but there was a reason why I gave a play on the game and did not take a total. It's because of that awful Minnesota defense. So that did scare me off from taking the blind underplay on Thursday Night Football, which has done very well, by the way, for the last couple of weeks. But Minnesota's defense is an absolute mess. And if you give up roughly 300 passing yards and multiple passing touchdowns to Jared Goff, you might want to fire everybody on the coaching staff.
Not ideal. Brownsbacker says that bumper sticker mostly found on Harley Davidsons. You also used to see them on a lot of Novas. A lot of Novas, both souped up and non-souped up. Took the Ducks.
Well, I mean, what's the point of getting a Nova? What's the point of getting a Nova if it's not souped up? I mean, come on.
Yeah, they used to have. I know. See, you're young, but man, Nova used to be the ubiquitous car. Everybody had one with the 3 on the tree and shit, and they had a lot of them were, unless they were souped up, they were really underpowered pieces of shit. So, hey, you know what? We got kind of a short card tonight, but there's a few nuggets out there. You want to start with this because we always run out of time. So you want to start with this NFL game? We've kind of danced around a little bit and talked about it. It's a big game for both these teams. They're obviously both fighting for playoffs. First of all, which team do you like their chances better of making the playoffs, Scott? Steelers or Vikings?
It's a tough call because Minnesota's somehow technically in the playoffs, so the NFC is a joke. But I got to go with the Steelers. Do I think either team's going to make the playoffs? Actually, no, I don't. I think they're both going to miss. But I do think that Minnesota is in danger of serious free fall. Pittsburgh's win against Baltimore is just huge. I mean, there's no other way to put it. If they lost that game, they were probably dead to rights, and they ended up coming from behind. I think that carries over into this game. For playoff picture, of course, whichever team wins tonight has significantly better chance than the team that loses tonight. But I'm going Pittsburgh, which is why I think that they're going to win the game. It's because Minnesota's using a coach who probably shouldn't be there. And Pittsburgh is a team that's entering this game off a pretty decent high note. Give me Pittsburgh here. Minnesota, I don't know how they haven't quit on Zimmer at this point. I think they have. Don't you?
It certainly looks that way. And I think we're going to get a big idea of how true that is tonight. Cameron Brown, here's somebody who likes to gamble. Here's somebody got a little gamble in him. Jokic first bucket parlayed with Embiid first bucket tonight.
I mean, I don't like laying the huge chalk with first bucket, but they should get a shot attempt early on to the game.
Yeah, I would think. Osborne over 41.5 receiving yards tonight.
Osborne 41.5 here from Preston. I don't mind it. With Thielen being out, I do think that you are looking at a spot for Osborne to get a decent amount of targets. He looked pretty good last week. I don't mind that. The issue you have is, do I think Minnesota is going to be able to actually move the ball with Kirk Cousins against this Pittsburgh defense that is somewhat healthy once again? But I do think that Jefferson will take a lot of focus from the defense. Osborne should have some one-on-one coverage.
Dalvin Cook is going to be playing in this one, so he's going to get obviously a ton of carries there. I think this is a Minnesota.
I don't think he's getting a ton of carries.
You don't think so? It's a shoulder injury, dude. He's fine.
I think that he'll play. I think he'll be splitting with Madison. I don't think he's going to get the bulk. But truth is, the thing about 2021 NFL football, running backs don't really matter unless you're McCaffrey or you're Derrick Henry. So do I think it really matters with Cook being in or out? No, because I think Madison's actually very good.
Yeah, I would agree.
Do you think it matters?
Between the backs, I think Dalvin Cook.
Madison's gone for 100 yards in every game he's played.
I think he didn't go for 100 last time. He went for 90.
I'm saying with the receiving yards as well. He's gone over 100 for all purpose. So even when Cook's been out, Madison's done a good job filling in for the starting lineup. It kind of reminds me of a similar situation with Dallas. Like if Zeke doesn't play, do you really care? No, it's because Pollard's very good.
Well, I think
Madison's very good.
I don't think that's
it's not a completely fair comparison because I know that Elliott is worse than Cook by a decent amount right now. But the point is the backup running back's still very good.
Cook is probable, by the way. Brandon Kubas wants to know if he's been confirmed. He has been upgraded to probable. That's almost always a very good sign.
Yeah, but Thielen's out and Darrisaw's out on the offensive line. Correct. Minnesota's still missing some key pieces.
Yes, they are. No question about that.
Do you have any thoughts on the side?
On the side, I've got to. I don't know. You and I talked about the show, whether the Cousins in prime time, whether that's a thing or whether it has to do with the competition that he's usually playing against better teams in prime time. So, having said that, to me,
I think they quit on Zimmer. I get that they lost to Detroit and people expect an oorah moment where they're going to bounce back. Why do I think they're going to bounce back? This team isn't any good.
Yeah, I agree. The thing I'm going to give Pittsburgh a lean on their defense. They even though they haven't been great against the run, they can still get after the passer. These two teams are 1-2 in the National Football League in sacks. I think this could be a lower scoring game than a lot of people anticipate because a lot of those sacks come on second and third down and break up those drives. Brad Crawford wants to know if we can handicap the Iowa State game tonight. We will, but you're going to have to wait a minute because it's going to be very close to the end. I'll just say
very, very close to the end.
How many rushing attempts will Najee Harris get?
I'm assuming he'll go in the 20s.
I put out a play of the day on this, and I put over 19. So I still like that play quite a bit. I think they try to run the ball down Minnesota's throats. Vikings have quit. Pretty obvious. Yeah, I
don't know how you don't quit if you lose to the Lions.
Well, again, we've seen this movie before where it looks like they're down and out, and then somehow Zimmer rallies them and gets them into the playoffs and somehow manages to keep his job. One of those years is not going to work. This could certainly be the year because anytime
I don't know what the team does well. I mean, Cousins has had a very good year statistically, but now you're missing Thielen, and when push comes to shove, you don't really trust his decision making late in the fourth quarter.
No, you don't. It all comes down to whether you can actually win with Kirk Cousins. Because Kirk Cousins is having a damn fine season, Scott. I think he's got 26 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions.
Well, that's why I mentioned the primetime stuff. It's because I know Big Ben isn't very good, but the argument is if you want to lay 3.5 with Minnesota, you kind of have to trust Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And what he's shown in primetime, whether it's the actual game being too big for the environment or the fact that in primetime games you're usually against good competition, Cousins comes up short. I don't want to lay 3.5 with him.
No. Any home field advantage tonight? Was it Nathan?
Home field advantage matters for Minnesota, but I feel like it's a spot where It's really a prime spot for Minnesota to just no-show, in my opinion. It seems like people are expecting Minnesota to immediately bounce back because they need to. It's a must-win game, whatever. It's a must-win game for Pittsburgh, too. So I don't exactly buy that narrative. But, Minnesota could win the game because both of us don't exactly like the Steelers. But I do think last week is the type of game against Baltimore that might carry over because that's a game that might have defined their season, and they actually passed the test.
Crash Landon is an optimistic gambler like I am. He said, I picked the Steelers tonight, so Vikings will win.
That's the spirit.
My whole month.
Hey, the Vikings could win. I just need them to win by less than 4.
You guys are scaring me with all the Minnesota hate. My 4-banger, no bueno. I probably hate Minnesota less than Scott does at this point. He's ready to write them off because of that performance against Detroit. What everybody seems to forget is 2 or 3 weeks ago, Pittsburgh shit they bet against Detroit too. Should have lost the game, ended up tying it. But if Detroit hits a mid-ranger there, they go home defeated as well. So I don't know that, and I don't think anybody would you say Pittsburgh's quit on Tomlin?
No.
No. See, and that's just the
they
thing.
beat Baltimore last week, so it's recency bias.
Right. That's the thing. Minnesota needs to win out for a chance at the wild card.
I don't know about win out because the rest of the NFC for that final 7 spots actually pretty weak. I think if they just end up with 8 wins, that might be good enough. But I don't know if they're going to get there.
Minnesota over under 2.5 touchdowns, buddy.
Truth is, it's kind of similar to the team total. I'd rather just take the team total under 23.5.
Take a small lean to the over there. Very small lean. I probably like the under more than most people do in this game. I got to tell you,
I like the under, but I wasn't going to play it with Minnesota's defense.
Somebody talking about the Texas Seton Hall game. The Hall at home laying 1 to the Longhorns. Seton Hall, good offensive team. Texas, good defensive team. Scott. Seton Hall's a 1-point favorite. A little bit of a trap there tonight. Is Texas a better team?
I'm taking Seton Hall just because of the fact that the line opened up Texas -2, -2.5, and now Seton Hall's -1. So if you're going to flip favorites on me with a top 10 team playing and the line's going against the top 10 team, I got to take Seton Hall. That's just based on principle.
Yeah, this is a Texas team that has played absolutely nobody with the exception of Gonzaga, which they ended up losing by 12, not covering.
And I don't know how good Gonzaga is. So
yeah, that's there's certainly a question about that. Pittsburgh under 44 says Roland Mims. Again, I'm kind of a Big Ben interception. Yeah, I'm not sure he takes enough deep shots to get interceptions. That's the problem with Big Ben is he's not really throwing much over 10 or 15 yards. So
it's a lot of dump offs, but Minnesota's secondary's also been underwhelming. So you can make an argument that even if Big Ben throws the ball so much, he's not going to throw it that far. And Minnesota's defensive backs have really not been that opportunistic.
No. If you want to win the Super Bowl, you need a defense like Kansas City. That's right, buddy. At least the defense that showed up the last 7 weeks, man. They've been fantastic. They've been the best.
Yeah, the offense is broken, but the defense is good.
It's not broken. I just saw a montage today. Mahomes has, I think, 11 interceptions. 7 of them went through the receiver's hands.
I found out a solution, by the way, of how to fix Kansas City's offense. All you have to do is increase the amount of plays that are scripted, and then maybe they'll score 2 touchdowns.
I'll tell you what, that is a absolute lock. The Kansas City Chiefs, first quarter, first half. Those if you can get drive props, Kansas City Chiefs score a touchdown at first drive.
The scripted plays are a thing of beauty for Andy Reid.
Yeah, those 10 or 12 plays that he has on his piece of paper on his Denny's menu. It's a beautiful thing. After that, it's a crapshoot. Seton Hall, Texas, under 133.5. This Texas defense, man, they're for real. Again, they haven't played anybody. They give up 86 to Gonzaga, but they have not given up more than 60 to anybody else. In fact, 58 is the most they've given up. They give up to Rio Grande Valley in a 30-point win there.
Rio Grande.
What'd I say? What?
Rio Grande. Rio Grande.
Shut up.
I don't think I'll ever get over Macho Grande.
Over Macho Grande? How he came apart? No, Howie was a rock.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you guys know what we're talking about, God bless you.
That was on yesterday. I was watching that.
You can hang out with me anytime.
No, I'm Roger Murdoch. I'm the
I probably lean under. I don't love this game. I think we've got two teams that we're going to find out a lot about in this one. I would definitely lean under with that Texas defense and the fact that they're probably going to go pretty slow.
I'm really torn on this one because Seton Hall likes to go fast and they score pretty well. But the issue is with Beard as the coach for Texas, do you really want to take an over? Because, offensively, they're not going to be very good, and defensively, they're going to be great. And that's been his entire resume up to this point. I'm staying away from the total. I think Seton Hall is going to win the game. So I do think that it might maybe be a little bit more up-tempo than people think. But that line does seem pretty sharp to me. I'm going to go ahead and take I'll lean over, but I'm not touching that total at all.
Nope. JC Stone says, bring back Rick Barnes. Okay, they're 6-1. My God.
I like Beard as a coach. I mean, how hard it is to take Texas Tech to a championship game?
Yeah.
It's almost impossible.
Cameron Brown, take Maxey over 3.5 assists. Feels like a steal. A steal, Scott.
Maxey should play a decent amount of minutes. I know he just came back from injury. This is a back-to-back. I am curious if they're going to limit him based on minutes. But Maxey's on the court for what should be 28 minutes, 30-something minutes. I don't mind that at all.
Big Ben has only thrown interceptions in 4 games this year. Kind of surprised. Me too.
Yeah, and Cousins has only thrown 3 interceptions the entire year, which means both of them will probably throw 3 in this game.
Right? Very good. Bronco Devil's been binging Ted Lasso. Likes it. I got sucked in. I watched the first 2. And then I made a commitment to myself that I was going to watch every other comedy that was nominated for an Emmy before I watched Ted Lasso, because I have every other streaming service except Apple. And I just, even though it's like whatever it is, $5 a month, I just couldn't fucking justify having another streaming service. But I'm going to have to.
I watched the whole thing up to this point. It's a very good show. I'm a fan of it. I have one issue with one of the characters, but I'm not going to mention it because it would kind of spoil some piece of season 2. But I wasn't exactly a fan of the character arc for one of the supporting characters. Let's put it that way.
I could eat me some nachos grande. Nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. Absolutely. Purdue first half -6.5.
By the way, I took Spanish for 5 years. I believe that means big nachos.
Big nachos. Scott, Purdue Rutgers tonight. Rutgers catching 13.5 at home. Purdue, their first true road game. Does that matter to you?
It usually does in Big Ten play because you usually see a team struggle against a conference rival on the road, but Rutgers really just can't score. I get that this team made the tournament last year. They probably should have beaten Houston in an upset and maybe made the Sweet 16 before falling apart, but they lost a lot of their best players from last year. Of course, Johnson transferred. They lost some other guys. Mathis is now playing for St. John's, another example, but this team just can't score. There's really no way around it. So I'm looking at the under because even though Purdue can score a lot of points, I do think on the inside they will give up nothing easy, and Rutgers are going to slow the pace. So I'm looking at the under.
I don't hate that. I just think this Purdue team. I don't know how you stop them, Scott. And I think Rutgers is going to be without.
I'm taking a stance.
Baker again tonight.
I'm taking a stance, just fading Rutgers' offense entirely. But Purdue can easily score 80 in every game, so it's tricky. I'll lean under, but I have a hard time taking Rutgers because that team just cannot score against anybody.
Fair enough. Zodwig says, let's give a shout out to the state of Ohio for passing sports gambling law this week. Yes, within the next year, it'll be legal for Buckeyes. That's fantastic news. Your state has finally got their shit together. One of the biggest prizes outside of Florida. Congratulations. I live in the fucking third notch of the Bible Belt here. So, we got our weed. I guess we have to be happy with that because we're not going to fucking see sports betting for a while. It's just ridiculous.
I'm probably getting it in a month. So
absolutely
should be fun.
Ridiculous. Tease Purdue to 20. I don't hate that. I honestly.
What's the line in that game?
13.5, I think.
Yeah. So it's not actually a tease. It's a please. If you increase the spread, it's a pleaser.
Whatever. You're true.
Throwing it out there.
Okay. Fair enough. Lawrence Anthony's in Ohio. Is Edie 7-4? Who's going to stop him? Reichel, if he stands on my fucking shoulders. That's about it.
I was going to say stamina. Him going up and down the court, you hope will tire him out, I guess.
Yeah.
Him and Williams. Just an absolute mountain of human beings.
Williams only plays about 20 minutes a game, though. He doesn't.
That's ridiculous.
He doesn't have the strength built back up yet, but
doesn't have the strength. But he reminds me a lot of Zach Randolph.
The Zach Randolph band. I love those guys.
Not quite.
Oh, that's the Robert. Never mind.
Yeah. Zach Randolph, former Memphis Grizzly power forward.
Imagine Kansas gets it before Missouri. I would lose my mind. Yeah, no shit. Because we're often Kansas and Missouri are like in an alligator death roll to who could be the most backwards fucking state, and Kansas usually wins. So yeah, I'm in Florida. God, oh Jesus, yeah, no shit. J.R. Black, Florida moving backwards in where they had it, and you knew it. But if you read that legal case, if you read anything about it, you knew they weren't going to be able to fucking.
Yeah, the tribes weren't exactly thrilled with how the negotiating was going.
The Seminole tribe was thrilled with it, but everybody else,
the Seminoles were. The other ones, yeah.
Also, like Fordham tonight against the spread. We talked about that one, Scott. You want to speak? You want to speak to Fordham?
Fordham's a team that I actually watched play against St. John's the other day. Not bad offensively. They are not a bad offensive team. LIU, the Sharks, whatever they're called nowadays, not very good. I don't mind Fordham -8.
Can't score. Averaging less than 60 points a game are the Sharks. They're decent against the number, inexplicably. But, this Fordham team, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with them. I think if I'm playing, I'm laying there. I'm not, in spite of the fact Long Island's covered 4 straight, I can't get behind it.
Well, who have they played, though?
They played Towson.
Okay, Towson did keep it close with Ohio State, so
right.
Fair enough.
They played UConn. They did not keep it close.
Yeah.
They lose by 50.
We're not comparing Fordham to UConn, but I do think Fordham should find a lot more offensive success, comparatively speaking.
Fair enough. All right, buddy. Well, it is time, man. Time has flown here. We try to bring it in about 40, 45 minutes, by the way. So somebody mentioned bowl games, ready for bowl season. Yes, I am indeed ready for bowl season. Scott and I are going to do something different because in the past, I've done a video on every bowl game, and this year we're going to do it together. So I don't know if we're going to do it. We're probably not going to do it live because that'll be it's going to be like 5 minutes. We're each going to make our case for like 2.5 minutes, and then we're going to grip it and rip it, and that'll be done. So be forward. We'll be posting the shit out of those. So as you sort through the videos and you go past all the horse racing shit, you will find our bowl plays in there somewhere. So we'll keep you guys apprised on when we put those up. Scott, you a horse racing fan?
I dabble, but I have not really bet on horses for a while.
Brown's backer says, hit that thumbs up, everybody. Pound that motherfucker. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, pound the thumbs up, dog.
That was self-inflicted. Good God. You've been so good, too. All right, bud, let's get to it. It is time. Once again, you and I have put our heads together as this winning streak goes on. The pressure mounts, and we spend more time on it each and every day. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So far, it's been all right. Here it comes, kids. Grab your straw hats, climb aboard your John Deere, and get ready to bet the farm. All right, Scott, and away we go. We've got another one cooked up for tonight. First of all, let's review. How did we do yesterday, sir?
We had the over in the Sixers and Hornets game, and it somehow went over.
Never a doubt. Yeehaw! Almost. You're getting closer, buddy.
You're getting better.
So I talked about this on my video last night. I sent you the banana in the tailpipe meme with about 45 seconds left. I thought we were screwed. And about 2 minutes later, I have to send you the Undertaker rising from the dead as it turned into a free throw contest. And Embiid hitting the 3-pointer certainly didn't hurt us. That was a nice step back there. But what have you done for me lately? That's the way this works. And somebody asked about this game. And here it is, Scott. It is going to be the Iowa Hawkeyes against the Iowa State Cyclones. Bet the farm. We're going to take Iowa State plus 5.5. That's available at various books around the country. Billy Hill, Caesars. We've gone with Caesars because there's no juice there. Now, the couple of reasons for this: Iowa State has started the season very well. They are undefeated this year. Wins and covers as a dog against Xavier and Memphis on neutral courts, and at Creighton. Now, Creighton maybe not as good as they were in years past, but still a solid team with some nice wins. Iowa State went up there and did their thing. In this series, the underdog has been the ruler of the day. The Underdog is 6-1-1 against the spread in their last 8 meetings. And the Hawkeyes, they're not quite up to snuff this year, it wouldn't appear. They started with a weak-ass schedule, and now they've played 3 real teams in a row, and they have lost to Purdue, Illinois. They beat Virginia by 1.
Well, two and a half real teams. I don't know what to call Virginia at this point.
Fair enough. They're usually a nationally ranked team, and they're going to be competing for the lead there in the ACC. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I like this Iowa State team. I like the way they're playing right now.
Home court
advantage. Are you kidding me? In an in-state battle, you're going to give me a undefeated dog that is catching 5.5 points? Got to do it. Could be a banana in the tailpipe, Scott. Could be a trap line, but I'm going to take the undefeated Iowa State Cyclones plus 5.5, and that is going to be our bet the farm play as you and I go for half a dozen.
The only reason I could think that this line has gone to 5.5 is because Iowa's kind of owned this series in the past, where they have won each of the last 3. They've done well. But if you're just going to give me 5.5 with a team that I think is pretty close to a pick'em in terms of actual talent, I got to take the 5.5.
Yep. Completely agree. All right, guys. Thanks for checking us out today. Thanks for joining us, for making this part of your Thursday afternoon. Dog, thanks for
Dogs are barking. Go Cyclones.
The dogs are barking. Go Cyclones. Don't miss Just Parlays every day, 1:30 p.m. right before you transition into our show. From me, from Scott Reichel, from my angry corgi Milton, we appreciate you guys stopping by. Have a great day. Good luck on all of your plays. And we'll see you tomorrow as we once again try to head back to the window.